LA Chargers. Again, if you're watching this, if you're a Chargers fan, we're going to go over the 2024 season. We're going to go into this 2025 offseason, what they did, see if we liked some of the things they did or they didn't. And then we are going to go and give our predictions for the 2025 season. The LA Chargers went 11-6, second in the AFC West. Playoffs, lost to the Texans 32-12 in the wild card. Herbert, after throwing 3 picks all season, throw 4 versus the Texans. I'm sure he would love to have that game back. After a point, he was chucking a little bit to try to get this team back into the game. But Texans, that was like a stylistic matchup that was like, damn, like they just have their number. Like they just have at every level they have their number, and it seems like not fair almost.
No, that sucked. I wish, because obviously I'm very pro Herbert, but that really hurts the resume.
Definitely. People hate Herbert now. He's getting a lot of hate. I'm not on that hate train. I don't think you are. I'm not 100% sure. So Chargers fans, if you're watching this, you're not getting Herbert hate on this show. Some stats, big, massive jumps from 2023. And it was quite literally just because Harbaugh showed up in that building. They had both jumps on offense and defense. I do want to highlight, going into last season, everyone was down on the Chargers. Everybody did not have them to go to the playoffs. Me and you both were like, having Harbaugh is the difference. He is going to take this team to the playoffs no matter what. So automatically, right off the top, shout out us for that. And also, I'm thinking that going into this season is like, they were ahead of schedule last season. What has changed going into this season where I think they're not going to be either the same or a little bit better? Just something to think about. On the total offensive DVOA, they were 8th in the NFL, 21st in passing, 9th in rushing, and then defensive DVOA, they were 6th. Strong, sustainable efficiency on both sides of the football on offense and defense. Herbert, masterclass season, a little bit overshadowed, obviously, by his playoff performance. And then shout out to Ladd McConkey with the 1,200 yards and 82 catches. And do you have anything that you want to comment on this team, Harbaugh, last season, anything?
Yeah, it was refreshing to actually see them have some success with Justin Herbert at the helm. The culture is completely different in that building now. I mean, watching the Chargers with Staley as their head coach actually made me want to
it was bad.
run into traffic, because the one thing that he was good at was supposed to be as a defensive coordinator, and their defense was horrendous. So overall, just huge culture shift for the Chargers last season, and it really paid off. Not off to a great start this year with the Rashawn Slater injury to start the year. That really hurts, but last year was ahead of schedule, and I have a few things about that injury, but we'll save that for down the road. I like what they did last year. Would have loved to see Herbert put together a much better playoff performance than what he did, but they're definitely trending in the right direction.
Yeah. One thing I just want to highlight, coaching is so important. Jesse Minter, Harbaugh, getting more out of less. Like I said, no one had this team to make the playoffs last season. They were just flat ahead of schedule. So that just goes to show you how big of a difference coaching can make. The big storyline is just playoff woes. It always feels like the Chargers have an unfortunate playoff loss no matter what. So hopefully we can turn that around this upcoming season.
I will say, I don't think did he have 3 or 4 interceptions?
4.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think all 4 of those were his fault. 2 of them were bad, I'm pretty sure.
He was chucking.
I think 2 other ones, like one got tipped, and then another one like hit off of a guy's hands on his own team and just like landed in the Texans player's hand. I forget exactly the scenario, but I don't think all 4 were not his fault. Either way, throwing 2 interceptions in a playoff game that they were winning in to start that game was not.
Then it got bad quick.
Yeah.
2025 roster updates from this offseason. Some departures: Joey Bosa, Puna Ford, Mike Williams retired, and then they signed Keenan Allen back, which I think it matters. I really do. I think he still has a lot left in the tank. Additions: Khalil Mack resigned, Najee Harris, who blew his eyes out, and then Mekhi Becton, who I love, and then Tyler Conklin, who's a decent tight end. I don't think it ever hurts to add another tight end. And then you mentioned it a little bit, Rashawn Slater with the re-upped on the 4-year, $114 million deal. Do you have anything that you want to add? Did I miss anybody on the departures and or additions?
I don't use Joey Bosa, Josh Palmer, Puna Ford. That's
Josh
pretty
Palmer,
much pretty much the significant ones. I think you covered everything.
Awesome. I do want to highlight something. I know that people are going to be down about this Rashawn Slater injury because he's a really great player and it obviously matters, but this offensive line, regardless, everybody really gave the Chargers a lot of shit for taking a tackle like Joe Alt over a Malik Neighbors who was sitting there for them. But when you're going into this season, I really do think that this is the reason why you go and you take that risk, because I don't view this as a excuse type of year for Justin Herbert. I know that people are like, oh, here come the excuses for Justin Herbert. He doesn't have his left tackle. They took Joe Alt, and Joe Alt's a damn good tackle as well. And I think that he's going to transition to that left tackle spot extremely well. And then you have somebody like Trey Pipkins, who's played a ton of football. He's more than capable of playing that right tackle. I expect this offensive line to not miss a beat, honestly.
Joe Alt played left tackle at Notre Dame.
Yeah.
So he played there his whole career. And the reason there's maybe 2 other teams in the NFL that if Joe Alt was drafted to, that he would have had to go play right tackle. And it just so happened to be that he went to the Chargers where they had a generational left tackle on their team.
Yeah, I do still think this group is a special group. Along the front, they add Mekhi Becton, who had that breakout year last year with the Eagles. This is the true identity of its football team. And even though Rashawn Slater is obviously incredible, and that's going to matter for them, I think that having the option to throw in somebody like Joe Alt as the guy to replace him,
there's definitely worse options.
Not that many people have that luxury. So I'm not viewing it as an excuse here for Herbert at all.
No, I agree with you. I think just sliding him over to left tackle, I think they'll be able to piece together the right side of that offensive line. I think Mekhi Becton at right guard, he had a phenomenal year with the Eagles last year. Has a lot of momentum to build on that, because realistically he's played one great season in the NFL, and that was alongside of Lane Johnson. But at the same time, like, even those reps of Becton at right guard were just significantly better than anything we saw him at left tackle. So you have a sure guy on the right side of that offensive line. I don't know a ton about Pipkins, like you mentioned, but
he's played forever.
But being able to move Joe Alt to left tackle and replace a generational left tackle with a generational right tackle is not the worst thing.
No, not at all. He got into the league in 2019 in the 3rd round. He's been a starter for the Chargers before as well. He's always been on the Chargers. The 2025 NFL draft, they take Amarion Hampton, RB1. There was some buzz. I mean, I'm not that guy. I think that obviously Ashton Genty's pretty good. But people started making the case that Amarion Hampton could potentially be number 1 running back in this entire class. When he was sitting there for the taking, I was like, please take Amarion Hampton. Like, please take this guy.
Yeah.
And they go and grab him. And what a absolute massive upgrade at the running back position to go from J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards to Najee Harris and Omarion Hampton. Like massive upgrades.
Yeah,
so shout out to them for doing that.
Obviously, aside from Najee Harris this season, he's been healthy his whole career, 1,000-yard rusher every year. Pretty much has been like a workhorse since he's been in the NFL. But I don't know, like, what's this injury looking like? Somebody, I saw an interview.
He's fine.
They said that he has great echolocation right now, like a bat. You know what that is?
I don't know. No, I didn't.
So it's bats are blind and they let out that screech so they know where things are. Harbaugh made this joke at a press conference. He's like, yeah, Najee Harris has great echolocation now because he's blind.
I think if they're joking about it, I think that's probably good, right?
I would say so, yes. I just haven't seen any like official.
2 days ago, he's participating in drills with a football on Tuesday for the first time since training camp begun. So I think he's going to play. I think he's fine. There's been, from what I've seen, there's zero indication that he's not going to be playing like at the start of week 1.
I mean, what a freak thing to happen.
One thing, first off, fireworks are stupid. Why does this always happen? Why does this always happen? Fireworks are dumb. Just don't touch them.
They are so stupid.
I never want to look at fireworks.
Let somebody else handle it, watching them from inside your house, or just watch a YouTube video if you really want to watch fireworks.
That's what I do. I put a campfire when I'm editing these videos on the other side with some rain in the background.
And, that is as soothing as it gets. I'd fall asleep to that.
Sorry. And then they get Trey Harris, who's a true deep threat, which he's got this like the case of the drops. Apparently, I'm not that worried about it. Remember when Jamar Chase had too small of hands to catch the football, and he had the case of the drops when he was a rookie? Obviously, completely different, but just something to always keep in mind when you're listening to like these clips about the camp shit that's going on. Is Jamar Chase at one point, people were scared about how sure of hands that he had. So, and then they took some other guys, took a defensive tackle, they took an edge, they took another wide receiver late. I think they absolutely nailed the first 2 picks of this draft of positions that I felt like they needed. You get somebody like Trey Harris who can stretch the field, and I think Omarion Hampton is going to be a damn good running back for them. People are going to clown this, and it is what it is. Quentin Johnston's good. I know that people don't like that. He had 8 touchdowns last season. He was pretty decent. I like him. So I think I'm looking at this wide receiving core get shaped out more and more. This Ladd McConkey, Quentin Johnston, Keenan Allen, Trey Harris. I don't know. I like this receiving core. It's not terrible. I know that when we made our video in the very beginning of the summer, you were at pause with this receiving core because they signed Mike Williams at the time. And I said that Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, they didn't sign Keenan yet, but there was kind of all indications that he was going to be there no matter what. And Ladd McConkey's, that's a decent receiving core. Like, I don't think it's the end of the world. Mike Williams obviously retires. I still like this receiving core. Quentin Johnston obviously shown that he can score touchdowns and be decent. I think Keenan Allen, we watched Keenan and Justin Herbert cook with each other 2 years ago when Keenan led the league with receptions and looked really good. I don't see why he can't turn back the clock a little bit, going back to LA. I'm not really judging that season that he had last year with Chicago because they all their receivers looked terrible. Like Rome Odunze looked terrible. DJ Moore looked terrible. Like nobody looked good. So I like this skill group. I think Justin Herbert has a lot to work with. I like Will Dissly. I like Tyler Conklin. With saying that, I don't think there's much excuses for Justin Herbert this year. I think this is a really good football team.
I definitely like the receiving room more now that Mike Williams is gone and Keenan Allen is there. And after they took Trey Harris, I think they have like the reliable, crafty veteran, but I think that the chemistry between Ladd and Herbert is pretty freaking good. I mean, he was
same with I think Keenan and Herbert too.
the second highest receiving yards for a rookie last year behind Brian Thomas.
Yeah.
Maybe third. Malik Neighbors was probably had more, but like
still.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I like this
He had
room a lot
1,200
better.
yards last season. Yeah.
Yeah, I like this room a lot better now than when we first spoke about it at the beginning of the summer. I feel like this is the best wide receiver room that Justin Herbert's probably had since he's been a Charger. If I had to guess off the top of my head,
probably not. But
who else did he have in some of these rooms?
Mike Williams and Keenan Allen at a point were like an elite duo.
Yeah, but Mike Williams was hurt a couple times, right?
Yeah, but he still played for him.
I think I like this more now. I think it's better. I think Ladd McConkey's better than what you were getting from Mike Williams moving forward.
I think Quentin Johnson. I do, dude. I think people are sleeping on Quentin Johnson.
I'm not sleeping on him. I think he'll be I think like the unit as a whole will be much better than it has ever been. And I like Amari and Hayden.
You switched your tone big from the beginning of summer. Big time.
They did not have Keenan Allen at the time. I know you said it was going to happen, but like until there's pen on paper, and then I like
you were
what they
pissed.
did in the draft.
You like were yelling at me when I
was pissed. Yeah, because it's not the same room. It wasn't the same room.
You changed your tone a lot. That's all I got to say.
They added 2 new guys,
and also on the other side of the football of this defense, you still have Derwin James. You still have Khalil Mack, who played really well last year. I think that Minter can get the best out of this defense still, no matter who's on that side of the football. I like both sides of this team a lot. I don't see any reason why this team's not going to be successful. So I don't think like it goes back to the injury with Rashawn Slater. Like automatically people were start on Twitter, and that's where Brady gets most of his lines from, is like when he was like, oh yeah, another excuse,
man. Yeah.
I don't think that there's an excuse for Herbert this year. I think that this is probably the best team that he's played with, honestly, since he's been in Los Angeles as a
yeah. Well, I agree. And I think the biggest thing though is when I was reading through Justin Herbert and some of his stats, it's like he's got to play a little bit better too. I think he had a good season, but the most efficient one that he's ever had. But the fourth quarter is really where some of the issues lied for this Chargers team last year. And his play in the fourth quarter just has to be better. They were, let me see here. They were just not good. I read a stat that was like, if every game ended after 3 quarters, the Chargers would have went 15-2. They were winning, going or tied going into like every single fourth quarter.
4 quarters.
It's crazy. Yeah, which is ridiculous. So he's not getting all away from the season like scotch-free. Like he's got to play better in the fourth quarter. But I really like this team. Or I'm sorry, they were 12-3 and 2 entering the fourth quarter. But still, got to be better. But I think with this team, I think he will be better. I think he's got good skill position players around him. I don't know. I think just the whole culture in Los Angeles is just so much better now. And I think that plays a lot into the success that this team's going to have moving forward.
I'm right with you. So the win total that this team has right now is 9.5 plus 300 to win the AFC West. To win the AFC Championship is plus 1,200. To win the Super Bowl is plus 2,800. Herbert MVP plus 2,000. Don't think that they're going to have that sort of output passing for him to be in that conversation. So I probably wouldn't take that bet. But Marion Hampton, Rookie of the Year, is plus 1,000.
That's the bet that I highlighted that I absolutely love.
You had that bet as well?
The Amari and Hampton bet for Rookie of the Year, Offensive Rookie of the Year, I highlighted that in my notes. I absolutely love that bet. We just talked about the Broncos, and a lot of people are really high on RJ Harvey, but I don't think they're going to be as good. I think the Chargers are going to be better. And ultimately, I think team play matters. If you're really good on a playoff team, I think that plays into it. And I think the Chargers are going to be a playoff team, and I think Omarion Hampton's going to be really good.
Yeah, I'm right with you. So my prediction of this team right now is, I think they win 12 games. I think they're a better team than they were last season. I think that the two heads of this division are going to be the Chiefs, and it's going to be the Chargers. I personally think at some point the Chiefs are going to fall off a little bit. They're going to have some sort of lull year. So I just threw that out as a limb to kind of zag. But I think that the Chargers are going to be a very talented football team this year. I'd like them to get better. I think they got better on both sides of the football this offseason. And another year with Herbert, another year with the OC, another year with Harbaugh and Jesse Minter and everything. What's not to like about the Chargers going into the season? I feel like everybody has a sour taste in their mouth about that wild card loss. But I mentioned it at the beginning. That was like a stylistic nightmare for the Chargers. Like, it feels like that game could have been played like 10 times on that day, and the Chargers wouldn't have won any time. It was just a bad stylistic matchup for the heavy man that they were getting played against, and they got smothered. They gave up a ton of sacks too. So I just think that this team is a lot better than they were last year. So 12 wins for the Chargers for me. And I do think that they win this division.
That's exactly what I had too. I had them with 12 wins and winning the division. That was my AFC West champion.
Sounds like we're on the same page then.
I'm looking at their weekly betting lines and their favorites in every single game besides the 2 against the Chiefs, the 1 against Philly, and 1 against Denver. So a lot of people are liking them just as much as we are.
Yeah, I think that they're going to be damn good. I mean, that's all there really is to say. So.
I just spit it. Good girl, we're getting paper as a passion. Collect the stacks and bring it back, man, and take